by Xaniz. And let's see, it looks like they're gonna try to... Easy shot, easy save on Golden Arm right now. Davis Seaman, he is all over the place on defense right now. He is definitely holding up to his word. Xaniz passes off to the wall. A little bit of a wild pass there. Funky passes it back over to... Turns it over to Wolf Evo. Who does a wild pass which phases all the way to the other wall. That's a little...
Wolf Evo, also known as Mike Evolution, he played with Trick in the Cash Pro tournament, one of the new additions, and a pretty good player, a pretty good pickup for the Direwolves.
Oh, well, yes.
He was actually with them last year.
Oh, I was not aware of that.
Another phase towards the wall. Wolf Evo is picking it up again. He's going to look for someone who passes to Sido and passes up to Trick. Trick's going to look for an opening, but it looks like he's blocked off by Violence. Now they're just trying to keep it away from their defense, maybe lure them out a little bit. Trying to avoid being checked. He passes it through, and it looks like it is going to be a turnover to Violence. Passes it back to goalie just to be safe, to avoid the checks there. Alright, Funky is trying to carry it down the field. A little isolated right now, but holding on to it. He's just carrying it up the field, taking an easy shot, easy save by Golden Arm again. Golden Arm sure is holding up to his veteran status right now, despite being slightly inactive. Short man holding his own on defense right now. Working their way back up the field. Wolf Evo and Acido kind of juggling it. Over to Puker. Oh, and it phases through Wolf Evo. That could have been a good one-timer or a good cross right there. Xaniz bringing it back up the field, trying to avoid being checked right there. Funky, kind of a wild pass. Trick goes for it and gets checked easily. Funky gets checked by Acido. Tempavel Beer recovering the puck. And it looks like he's looking for a pass, but he does not have it. Wolf Evo gets in his way. Passing it back to Shortman and to Puger, just trying to keep control of it. Violence almost gets him, narrowly misses.
Very defensive game.
Oh yes, very.
Acido there with the pass. He's one of those players that likes to create replays of himself. He has a pretty flamboyant personality, but a good player nonetheless.
I agree. He might be a little laggy, but he is a fairly good offensive player. Very dangerous to deal with if I was goalie. And there he goes. Acido and Puker trying to hold on to it with the Trick and with the crosses. Oh, and their David defense Siemens is still holding up. Still too good for the Direwolves right now.
Good play by the Direwolves, though.
Indeed.
Yeah, Trick might have tried that drop passes because it worked out well, but from there it just kind of broke apart. But I like the idea from Trick there.
Alright, Direwolves desperately trying to hold on to their defense as Cruisers keep putting pressure on them. Acido and Puker trying to carry it down the field. Puker passing it over to Trick. Trick getting checked by Violence very easily. Oh, and Trick turned it over to Violence, checked him. Oh, that is a slap in the face right there. Oh, Violence is on fire right now. He's Funky carrying it down the field. Xaniz gets checked easily by Shortman. Shortman's defense seems to be holding up just as well as the Creaser's defense.
Two very defensive teams. Not going to score a bunch of goals this season. They're going to be really defensive all year long.
No, it's going to be a very intense game at this rate. It's Funky and 10 Pavel Beer trying to carry it down the field. Violence trying to force his way through Weasel and just kind of does a wild pass all the way to Golden Arm. Instead of passing it back, Wolf Evil returning it to Trick. Going to carry it down the field. He's going to look for an opening up there. Looks like Puker is ready for a Puker shot, and he gets checked by Xaniz.
Puker there trying one of those line shots. That's what he's known for. As a great try.
That was a nice try, Puker. And Violence bringing it back up the field. Looking for an opening. He's a little trapped right now. He misses the pass to Xaniz. Funky recovering it, passes it back up. And he's looking to pass back down to someone. Oh, David Seaman phases through the defense. Shorman recovers it to Wolf Evo and turns it back over to the creasers. Funky.
25 seconds remain in the first period.
Golden Arm recovers that shot easily. Trick tries to bring it back up. Ices it down the field. Yoinker recovers it easily. Davis Seaman trying to bring it back up. 6 seconds, 5 seconds. Maybe they can get a shot in, maybe not. Oh, and it looks like that is it for the first period. That was a very intense period by both teams, very defensively played.
This question is going to go to everyone. Who do you think won that period? Which team had the better performance?
Personally, I would give the Creases a little bit of an edge, but I think they both played defensively very well. None of the goalies let up. David Seaman definitely held up to his word. He was all over the place with that.
Yeah, David did have a great period in that first period, making a lot of checks. We already have 4 shots from the creasers to Direwolves 2. That 4 shots is actually, I think, the same amount that Shorthands had the entire game last night. So they're getting shots off. So that's a good sign for the creasers.
Yeah, normally I find defensive games kind of boring, but this game is actually very intense, very focused, and it seems like they both really want to keep control of the puck and really make some shots that count.
I mean, they're trying hard. This Creaser squad is getting criticized every year for being the same squad it has been, and they just keep coming back and surprising, and I can't wait to see them all this season.
You know what? Sometimes I find Violence annoying, but I hear he is a really great captain, and I think that's what's really helping them to pull through. He knows how to play his players, he knows how to keep his defense up and not get goals scored on him, and try to score as well.
A good captain is also Rick Minus. He's a really good player and a good captain. He basically puts the team on his back every game, and he's really good at leading this team.
Some speculation that this could be Trick Minus's last season, so he really wanted to go after the Blackie Cup Championship by making some additions like Aceto, one of his new additions there.
Oh, I did not know that. Wow, well, yeah, definitely. I guess he definitely has something to go. He definitely has a reason to win this game, and it looks like we're going into the second period. About to start right here.
The scoring summary of this period is basically no one. No one scored except for a lag goal, which I saw clean, but, we don't all see in my eyes.
Xanaz wins the space-off, trying to look for a shot. Easy shot, saved by Golden Arm again. King James picks it up over to JDM Spoon. Gonna kind of juggle around between Little Wade and Artos, which is easily back-checked by Violence. Funky and Tim Pavel Pure are going to try to keep it under control, keep it away from their defense. Looks like they're kind of juggling around trying to lure the defense out, but it is not working. Shoreman does not budge at all. And they're just pushing the backwards. JDM intercepts it, passes back to King James and Artos. Kind of juggling around David Seaman and a Yonke. Easy shot saved.
It looks like Creasers is pretty much going with the same lineup as they did in the first period, while Trick actually made a couple of substitutions, getting JDMS Spoon in there, as well as another player, King James.
Yeah, I don't know if that's a bad thing. I think it might be more of a switch to a slightly more offensive lineup. We'll see how it pans out.
Well, Creasers did have some good things going last period, so sticking with that lineup into the second period is a pretty good idea.
Oh, and Creaser's defense seems to be holding up pretty well. Oh, and a phase through Funky. Turns it over to JDM Spoon, who tries to carry it down the field, but he has no one to pass up to. A little isolated there. King James almost had a breakaway. He's easily checked. Back over to Violence. Gonna try looking for someone to pass to. He's gonna back off past Xanaz. Xanaz holds on to it. He's gonna look for someone. Looks like Direwolves' defense is a little too much. Artist is right there.
Yeah, most of the players for Direwolves right now on their own defensive area. No one really pressing too far forward.
Yeah, it looks like they're starting to lay back a little bit, but that's not necessarily a bad thing in a 0-0 game, as long as you can hold on. All you need is one goal.
I'm receiving word now that a player on the Creaser squad is not happy with the playtime he was receiving and is now looking for other teams.
Which player is that?
His name is Soiled.
Oh, Soiled. I would have thought he would play goalie for them, but apparently Yoinky is taking his spot.
I mean,
gotta say, I'm impressed with Yoinky. I know they lost Cereal and Milk, but from what I've seen from Yoinky, he's done a pretty good job.
I mean, Soiled is European, so he must have woken up for this game, and I know how that feels, waking up for games, so it must have felt pretty bad getting glued to the bench in a game like this.
Well, then we'll have to see how that team drama pans out later in the season. See how many players actually stay with their team. Oh, Tempavel almost takes a shot on Golden Arm, but it looks like it phased, at least to me, and Golden Arm picks it up easily. And Davis Seam and Tempavel trying to hold on to the puck, and Tempavel passes it backwards as Violence recovers it. Funky and Xana's trying to keep control of the puck, and Xana's wildly passes it back again as Violence recovers it once again. Alright, and they're trying to carry it down the field. Looks like the Direwolves defense is holding pretty steadily. They are not being lured in at all. JDM Suma has a breakaway. He might have a shot right here. If he can do... Oh, he tries a low sweep, but it does not work. Yoinky is not phased, and it misses the net.
Yeah, the defender was taking away the top side. One option would have been to try to ball kill him and go to the top, but he tried to go to the bottom, but not enough space there.
Indeed, indeed. It looks like Creasers is trying to hold control of the puck. Looking for a cross, but Direwolves is not giving them any kind of cross, any kind of passing. They are blocking all of their passing lanes. Very defensive on the Direwolves right now. And Crease... Looks like Direwolves trying to bring it back down the field. Oh, Direwolves seem to be struggling with puck control right now. Creases seem to be dominating, but they just can't get a shot in right now. Forcing Violence all the way to the back of the net. He has no one to pass to except Xana's. A little way he recovers the puck. Back to 10, Pavel Pure. Over to Funky, who shoots what looks like a phased goal. I'm pretty sure that was not clean.
Yeah, that looked a little funky on that shot.
I won't say that has to be clean because it's clearly lag, and I don't know why he would take that shot. And, you know, good try, but it's not really a good shot to take when your team has possession.
You know what? You never know. Some of these refs call really funky shots, so... But that was a nice try. We are back on the face-off with 7 minutes and 3 seconds left. Xana's wins the face-off over to Funky and Tempavel Bure. And Davis Seam always back there to recover the puck. So if you're trying to force, almost like they're trying to force their way through, but it is not working. King James will not have that, and he will take that puck right from the Greasers. And Davis Seaman will take it right back. And Xana is looking for someone to pass over to, but looks like Direwolves is still holding up pretty solid on their defense right now. They are not budging one minute. Oh, and Shortman is always right there. Shortman has always been a good defender in my opinion. He's always there. Seems to be doing very well this game. Excuse me. My finger off the talk button. And Creases bring it back up the field. Hopefully they have a shot. Shortman is right there once again.
Huge play by Shortman.
Shortman's he was in the he was a candidate to win like the best defensive award. He was one of the top 3 in that race, but I don't know if he won that award, but he is definitely a top defender.
I've just been informed that I have my sounds on. I will turn that off next period, just so I don't miss anything this period, so I apologize for that. Anyway, Dower Wolves is trying to bring it back up the field. Hopefully, they were trying to get a shot back on creasers, and they're working their way around. David Seaman is right there again, rolling funky. Their creaser defense just seems to be too much for Dower Wolves right now. And Violence trying to hold on to control the puck. David Seaman trying to bring it back up. Zan. Oh, narrowly missed right off the post. That should have been a goal, but that was not a goal.
You can't miss chances like that in games like these. That might be decided by one goal.
Oh, and Dower Wolves almost got that goal back. Creasers coming right back in. Looks like a pretty fierce comeback. They have a chance right here. Oh, Shoreman is right there. Golden Arm is also right there, covering both the passing lane as well as the shot.
Right now the game is really back and forth. It seems like the game speed is picked up as both teams are rushing to the other team's ends back and forth.
It's definitely got a lot more intense, and I'm definitely hearing my heart beating from 1 to 10 times now, and I'm very excited about this game. Alright, Creases looks like they have a 3-on-1. They have a chance, and David Seaman scores. We'll see if it's called clean.
It looks good to me.
It looks good. He might have been a pixel in this crease, but we'll see right now.
There might be a little bit of a debate. Might be a crease shot.
Solid execution on that 3-on-1 there by the creasers.
I mean,
That was definitely a good breakaway right there. Hasn't been too many of those this game.
Dire Wolves has given up too much 3-on-1s this game, and they just had to pay the price for it at some point. The game is now going to be 1-0, and it's not looking good for the Dire Wolves. We might get a replay for this, I'm hearing.
Somewhat of a reversal call here. Seems to be delayed a little bit.
In last game that Dire Wolves was involved in, they're missing some key players, like I said earlier. But one guy who did step up in that game when they fell behind was Goldeneye. So I might look for him to put one up if this one is called.
Goldeye is in the arena, but not in the game as of now. It'll be interesting to see when Trick uses him.
Well, we'll see what kind of lineup they have in the third period. Doesn't seem like much is going to change for right now. And the goal was called clean. 1-0 Creasers. Dire Wolves have some catch up to do with that goal they gave up.
Clean goal scored by number 1, David Seaman. Assisted by number 10, Pavel Bure.
Alright, and Dire Wolves seem to be holding on to control of the puck. A little bit of a wild pass back to the defense there. Golden Arm will recover it and pass it over to King James. Looks like Dire Wolves are really going to try to regain that goal they just lost. Trying to pass it up quickly, and a shot on goal and miss. Recovered by Yonke easily.
You guys know if King James is aliased right now? I'm not registering that name.
I don't remember who his name was, but I was messaging him yesterday. I don't remember who he was.
I have my inside sources telling me that King James is indeed Kana. A weasel that played on and off every year, and he's back now for the season.
Well, that would explain his current weaselness in this game. Good job, King James, and good save, Golden Arm. And Alright, and Creaser's defense seems to be holding up fairly well. They haven't changed their lineup too much, but they're doing well. They don't need to change anything right now.
Creaser's putting up the pressure, that's what I like to see.
Same lineup, more pressure, that is a good way to play. And Templeval hits it right in the corner of the upper net, right there. We will see if that's clean.
They're saying that's Tank. I honestly saw him miss, so it'll be interesting to see what this call is called.
That is a clean goal, 2-0 Creasers.
Goal scored by number 10, Pavel Bury, assisted by number 11, Violence, and number 2, Zanaz. Time of the goal, I don't know.
Creasers certainly are doing their job and not being Creasers. Ha ha ha, that is funny.
It was a good job on the goal there by 10, Pavel Bury, to not shoot it too early, waiting for the opportunity to present itself, and that's a big goal. Falling down by 2, Direwolves has a lot of catching up now. I'm not sure they're going to be able to do it.
Well, maybe GoldenEye will make a little bit of a difference if they play him in the third period. We'll see what happens. Right now, it seems like Creasers seems to be keeping control of the puck right now. Playing very... Alright, Direwolves keeping control of the puck, trying to look for an opening in there. Trick tries to break through the defense, takes a shot, easily saved by Yonke. Pass back to Violence, back up to Zanez. They're trying to carry it down the field, and that just lagged out of nowhere. I have no idea how that got to that point of the rink.
The debate might be up for Yoinky being better than Linux. We don't know. We'll have to ask our analyst Ligo after this game.
That is a good thing to say for the end of the game, definitely. All right, Creasers trying to come back over Templeval to Zanez. Looks like they're a little blocked by the Direwolves defense right now. And Zanez is easily checked. Little way over to Trick. Trick is going to try to beat the defense again. And over to King James, who will miss JDM Spoon, which might have been a possible goal.
Great opportunity there. They really wish they could get that one back with only 1 minute here in the second period.
And Violence around the back of the net again. We have about 40 seconds left in the second period. 11 shots Creasers, 7 shots Direwolves. Creasers seem to be putting a lot of pressure on the Direwolves right now. Direwolves are playing very good defensively, but it seems not enough to hold back all the goals. Trick seems to have a breakaway here, so he can do, and he misses the chance for a one-timer or a fade. It goes right into the goalie, and he just destroys himself.
Yeah, I think Trick might have approached the goalie with too much speed there, kind of made himself a little bit too predictable because of that.
Indeed. Direwolves trying to come back for another shot, and a wild shot towards Yoinke, and that will be the end of the second period, going into the third. 2-0 Creasers.
Just an unlucky period.
Still a very heavily defensively played game, very intense. Creasers seems to be putting more pressure as the game goes on. We'll see what the Direwolves can bring for the next period.
It'll be interesting to see what Direwolves do in terms of lineup changes, and if the Creasers are going to change anything to their formula.
Look at Yonke's stat line there. He had 9 steals, no turnovers, 7 saves, and no goals allowed. He led both teams in rating at a 38.3, so a solid job from him.
And it seems like the Direwolves have put in Goldeye, I am hearing, and we'll just see what's going to happen this period. It's one thing's for sure, it's going to be a great period.
I agree. Goldeye can open up some pretty good scoring opportunities. It doesn't look like Creasers are changing their lineup at all as of yet, so we'll see how this works out.
I guess Violence might be taking the motto, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
And that is definitely a good motto to do.
That's
However,
assuming...
Violence is the one who always says scrimmage fatigue. So perhaps they would be worn down. If that happens, they can let out a few goals. And that would just be great for the Direwolves, but pretty detrimental to the Creasers.
Who would you guys say the best player on the Direwolves is as of now, despite this performance? Okay.
Yeah, Trick and Puker definitely have a long history of playing together, and it showed. I like the way that Shortman was playing. I think he was really limiting creasers, so I think he's playing well.
As a defenseman myself in past seasons, I would say Shortman is playing very well. As a goalie, Golden Arm is playing very well. I haven't seen him very active lately, but he is doing very well despite his inactivity. Trick is definitely their key offensive man right now. We'll see what him and not Golden Arm, Goal Eye can bring to this period. Going into the third period, 2-0 creasers.
The two last goals were scored by, the first goal was scored by David Seaman, number 1, and the second goal was scored by Pavel Bure. So let's see what's happened this period.
And the Dire Wolves are taking control as the creasers gain control back. Kind of a iced pass down the rink, all the way to Shortman. Back down. Oh, there's a breakaway by Violence. Hopefully we'll have a pass, and Temple Pure will get checked easily by the Dire Wolves defense. Shortman. Trick recovers it.
If Shortman didn't make that check there, it would have been a pretty scary opportunity. But Shortman, once again, playing good defense.
That was indeed a close one. And Crease is trying to bring it back to the field. Up to the field. Funky looking for a pass to Xanez and over to Tempavel Bure. And Xanez looks like Dire Wolves is holding up pretty well. Acido. Oh, he has got a breakaway. Hopefully he can hold on to it to make a shot. And he's looking for a shot. He tries to pass up a Trick and it just goes behind the net. Oh, what a miss. What a fail. And it looks like Dire Wolves are holding onto it, trying to look for an opening, and they just cannot find it. They cannot find the opening to get a shot in. They are 2 shots behind, but they are not making the key shots they need to be making right now. Crease is bringing it back down the field. Xanez and Tempavel right there, with Violence behind them. Looks like Xanez a little isolated right now. So is Violence. He'll bring it right back around the goal. And they will still gain control with Tempavel Bure passing it wildly over to the wall. Kind of juggling it outside of their defense right now, but their defense does not seem to be lured in too much. A little bit of lunging there. Oh, they might have a chance right here, and it is an own goal by their goalie. Oh my gosh. We'll see if this is called clean.
Maybe Creasers will advance up Trick's weekly power ranking if they win this game. Who knows? But that goal was scored by Funky. What a goal. I think it's an early candidate for goal of the year, and it's not even the year yet.
Indeed, that is a very good attribute to have.
Coming back from 2-0 is one thing, but 3-0 is a whole new story. But on Dire Wolves, at least they can say it's still really early in the third period.
Dire Wolves does not have a shot this period yet. I'm getting really worried for them. I hope they can step it up because this Creaser squad is just walking all over them.
Well, you know what? This is not Linux they're playing against. They have a chance. If it was Linux, I would say if you're behind 2 goals or more, no chance in hell. But this is not Linux. They can do it. They have a chance. They have plenty of time.
According to Ligo the Brown, Yornke is indeed on the same skill level as Linux, so it'll be interesting to see what happens.
We'll have to see what happens with that then.
Some significant changes to the Dire Wolves lineup.
Alright, Dire Wolves looks to score another goal, or a goal. Not another one. A goal. Get them
Yeah,
in the game.
They're definitely trying to increase the amount of offensive players that are on the ice right now, as they took Shortman out, trying to just go pure offense.
The way
Looks
they
like
see
might-
it,
Go ahead.
the way they see it, the game is already lost, so they just want to send creasers a message for their next game.
Well, you know, this is only the beginning of the season. They have plenty of time to recover anything that might happen from this season. They still have time in this game, but if they lose it, they have time to recover this loss. No problem.
Might be less of the case with creasers following their first game loss. So they had a lot to play for in game number 2, and look, that's exactly they're really showing up tonight.
Looks like Direwolves trying to put a lot more pressure on creases right now with their recent lineup. Although Trick is a little isolated right now, looking for a little bit of a pass over to JDM Spoon, and that is a pass easily picked up by a Sido. Trick looking for, easily checked by the defense on Funky. Violence recovers that, passes it back behind the net. A little bit of a wild pass here.
So, what kind of changes do you guys think Direwolves needs to make here to get on the board?
I think they need to insert in a player or add a player in the free agency right now that can strike for goals. A good addition would be LSD, who is currently a free agent.
Yeah, LSD, a good pick as far as free agents. He's on White Irish Rebels key free agents.
Yeah, they definitely need some better offense right now. They seem to be holding their own on defense for the first 1.5 periods, but Creaser's offense was a little too much. I think they could have used them a little more offense throughout most of the game rather than more of a defensive play.
This just in, it's like Artos is getting extremely frustrated right now.
Yeah, some sec chat brewing between Artos, not happy that he was placed on a so-called bad line. So we'll see what happens from that.
Oh, and Xanax takes a shot on goal and misses it, easily picked up by Golden Arm. Looks like Creatures are steadily continuing the pressure onto the Dire Wolves. They're not letting go, and Funky almost makes a shot on the lower corner, but misses narrowly. That was a nice try by Funky. Direwolves regaining control, a little bit of a wild pass back to the upper wall there, which is regained by Creases and regained by Trick as he checks Temp of Elpier.
I'm a little surprised we haven't seen Vega tonight. I know he's a pretty good defender. It might be a good opportunity to put him in right now by 3 with 6 minutes in the third period.
Well, Yoinky is their best defender, and he is in the net right now, so I don't think they have anything to worry about.
I think Creasers is in a pretty good position right now. I don't think they're really worried about defense as much as they are just pure puck control at the moment, which they seem to be doing fairly well at.
It's not to say that Dire Wolves is not Creasers' measuring stick for how far they'll go this season, but a very good gameplay by Creasers.
Indeed. Direwolves is still trying to give a pretty valiant effort, but they keep turning over, giving the puck control back over to Creasers. And Creasers seem to be holding on and taking advantage of that. But Trick will have none of that. He is still trying to hold on to this game. And the possible breakaway right here, which is easily blocked by David Seaman. Creasers carrying it back up the field. Oh, they might have a cross. No, Direwolves' defense is way too much to them. Trick carries it up the field, and he gets easily checked by Violence. Creasers desperately trying to gain control of the puck again as they try to reset it. with a couple of turnovers, but they still managed to keep control. Oh,
Oh,
that was a very close call right there. Very close shot.
Yeah, the
Alright.
goalie was out, so the defender had good opportunity there. He could go inside the crease if he needed to. Good save there.
it would have been even better if Direwolves was on the board, but as of right now, they are not.
Oh wow!
Trick had a shot. He did not take the fade shot right there.
Yeah, looking at that, I think the correct choice would have been to shoot at the bottom, but it's easy to say that in hindsight.
Trick goes again for round 2, and he almost gets it. He almost beats Yonki. Yonki is a little too fast for him. Oh, Creasers is very good at keeping control of the puck, passing it back, not going forward too fast. Oh, until that turnover right there to Puker, which Wiley passes it to the wall again. Fortunately, it was recovered by Trick, and that was recovered again by Ten Pavel Buer.
A lot of
Good
turnovers right now.
A lot of turnovers. Oh, Puker goes in with the spear towards Funky. He unfortunately does not have a pass upwards. Pass lanes are all blocked by the Dire Wolves, but they still gain control.
And the Direwolves, they might be thinking they're making pancakes right now, because these are a lot of flips and turnovers right now.
Oh, and a goal scored by the Creasers. That looks fairly clean to me.
You know, I don't think anyone bet that the Creasers would be leading 4-0 going into the third and towards the end of the third. This is really a bad game for the Direwolves, and they need to regroup up.
They have definitely got their work cut out for them if they want to come back to this. Judging by the first period, I expected more from the Dire Wolves, but we'll see how it goes. Alright, and Creasers seem to be holding on to control of the puck. Direwolves desperately trying to push it back towards the Creasers side of the rink. Oh, that was quite a battle right there, easily picked up by Yoenki. Oh, David Seaman is still too much for the Dire Wolves. He is all over the place. I have not mentioned him once this period, but I have finally mentioned him. He is doing great. Oh, and Trick blocks a shot. That's great defense by Dire Wolves right there.
It's interesting to note that Golai only played 3 minutes this period, so we'll see what's happening with him soon.
Alright, and Creases are carrying it back up the field. Hopefully looking for a passing lane. Looks like the passing lane is blocked right now. Violence is a little isolated, so is Xana's, but Direwolves' defense is a little not too much for a little too much for Puker. Puker said, "No, I am blocking your shot right there." And Direwolves comes back. Oh, nice try, nice try. Almost made it in past Yoenki. Good save, Yoenki. And Direwolves are desperately trying to get back these goals they've been losing. Yoenki is right there, passing back to Violence. He'll carry behind the net. And he will look for a pass. Right to Temple here to Funky. Looks like he's trying to look for David, who's easily checked by Trick. And it looks like they have the advantage right now. Oh, nice try by Ortos. Almost got a shot off of Yoenki. Violence passes back up the field. Funky, who gets easily checked. And turns over to Trick and Artos, who now have the advantage. And we'll see what happens. Oh, Artos narrowly misses almost the same shot as before. Oh, They were trying that shot so many times, they're just not getting it.
Ardos can't keep giving those plays up. He could have made the game 4-2, but he just can't convert on those.
Creases have control of the puck. A turnover to Acido. Acido and Puker right on the ball. Oh, a delay off of Acido, and Acido does not get the shot. The game ends 4-0 Creasers. What a game. That was really intense.
Well, who would you guys say was the best player of the game so far? Well, since the game has ended, who was the best player?
Well, considering Creasers did not really change their lineup, I would say Creasers, their full line was the best player. They knew their line played well, and they did not need to change it. Direwolves tried to change it desperately and tried to get their shots back, but they just couldn't. They couldn't do it.
Who was the worst player of the game?
Statistically, that would be King James. I think his steals to turnover ratio is pretty poor. But it's hard to put it on one player like that. We had 2 goals tonight from Tin Pavel Bure and a mean performance from David Seaman and Violence in both playing Spiders. I like the way Yoinky played with the complete game shutout. So a great performance, I think, just overall by Creasers.
Stickman.
Yeah, I think King James he has some shots, but he didn't really make a huge performance on the game. I wouldn't say he was terrible, but he is Canna. He didn't make a huge. He's been inactive for a while. He didn't make a lot of key shots that the Creasers were looking for, but overall, Creasers did do fairly well.
Yeah, you can tell Acido, he had an opportunity there with like 2 seconds left to maybe bury one on the bottom side, but that delay just, he's going to be pretty frustrated about that delay, I think.
I honestly hope that the Direwolves can step up their game because this was a disgusting performance. One of the worst performances I've ever seen in RSHL history, and I really hope they can step up their game right now.
I don't think it was that bad. Defensively, the first period they played excellent, but Trick did miss a few key shots. He had shots, he just did not take them as he should have, so.
Yeah, just tonight it looked like, Direwolves came out, this was their opening game, so I can understand, not being in the full swing of things quite yet. I think they just ran into a match tonight where Creasers was coming off of a loss and really motivated for that first win.
Well, you can only say that it's only the first game of the season. Direwolves will pick up their game, but today is not a performance to be proud of. If they could take one positive out of this game, it's their goalie that kept them in it for the first 2 periods.
I'm actually surprised at their goalie. I haven't, like I've said a couple times in this game, he hasn't been very active, but he did fairly well in this game. He held up for at least the first and a half period, and he did fairly well. So I guess as the season goes on, he'll do a little better.
We can field some questions from the spectators, and if you guys have
the
any,
final score 4-0 for the Creasers.
Who do I think was MVP? I would probably say, I'm biased because I'm a goalie, so I would say whoever was the best goalie of the game. I'm a terrible goalie, but I would say I love goalie, so I'd probably say Yoinky.
The 3 stars. Go on.
I had nothing else to say. Go on. Whatever. Say whatever you had to say.
Okay, well, my 3 stars of this game. First of all, the impact player of the game was obviously Yoinky. comparable to Mr. Linux. The second star would be David Seaman for his impressive defensive play and his goal. And the third star would be 10 Pavel Bure.
You know, I interviewed David Seaman briefly before this game. He said he could stand up to the fangs of the dire wolves, and he definitely held his word. He was all over the place, mostly in the first and second period, not so much the third, but he definitely held up to his word. He was great.
Yeah, just building off of what Furry said there, I think those two were really on the same page tonight, and that really helped Cruisers.
Stickman, I've seen you made a key addition to your lineup. Captain Pickle, what can you say about that?
Well, yeah, we did sign Captain Pickle. We had a few inactive players, so he seemed like a smart addition. He's a very versatile player, and we got him from the Creasers, so I'm not sure why he was upset with Creasers. I was a little bit concerned that Creasers might be in shambles after losing him, but you can see tonight that that's not the case.
According to Thrill, Captain Pickle is the best player on Empire right now.
Also, according to Thrill, Goldeye sucks so bad, and he wonders why.
Sounds like Thrill has a lot to say. It might be nice to get him in here.
You know, Thrill says I am the worst player, the worst of the worst, so I don't know how much I hold his opinion, but as a commentator, I would like to hear him in here right now.
Yeah, is there a possibility to do maybe an interview, or and I'm not sure how the production wants to go about this.
An interview for Thrill? Because I got Trick for an interview, so we can bring him in since he was on the other team.
Yeah, it'd be nice to start out with players that were involved in this game before we kind of moved over to the spectators.
Thrill will have to wait until Baby Seal Killers loses their next game.
Actually, a long wait.
You know, Baby Seal Killers is one of my arch nemesis, aside from cereal and milk. So, mostly because Thrill's on that team. I'm not a fan of Thrill, but I'm just saying.
Yeah, I mean, Thrill, he has some people that either love him or they hate him, but it's hard to argue with the fact that he plays at a pretty high level.
So, in his defense, Thrill is actually the biggest player of this game today. He has the ego to be the player you love to hate.
Well, there's no love in my hate for him, but I do respect him as a person because sometimes he can get the better of shots on me as a goalie. I will say it that way.
Another good player is not White Irish Rebel.
I think we should interview one of Creaser's top performers tonight, and that would be David Seaman. He missed that first game, but you can see the difference and the impact that he had on tonight. So I kind of like to get him in if that's possible.
Yeah, for sure.
I agree with that.
All right, we have Trick in the mumble right now. Trick, do you hear us?
Hello, loyal listeners.
Welcome,
Hello.
Trick.
About the
there.
game tonight. We are very sorry to see you lose. I was actually rooting for you. What can you take out of this game as a positive?
Well, Coz, teams go real well before the game started and practiced for a couple of hours, kind of like Baby Seal Killers does on a daily basis. But, we might have suffered from a little bit of scrim fatigue by the time we got to game time. We just didn't bring the energy that we brought earlier this afternoon. As far as a positive goes, I think showing 12 people out of the 14 on our roster is a big positive. It's going to be a handful to juggle as far as playing time goes, but we'll see how it goes.
Okay, and I don't mean for you to throw anyone under the bus, but if you could name one player that did not have an impact today or that was underperforming, who would you name?
It was a collective effort. We scrimmed really, really well before the game. We got a bunch of people involved and thought we were firing at all cylinders, but we just didn't bring it to game time. I'd say it's a collective effort.
It's a good answer. And do you think this raises a worry for your team going forward, or you can still surprise everyone and perform?
Oh, no, it's just one game out of 20. It's the first game. We got the first game jitters out of the way. We'll see how it goes from here.
And are you going to look to add anyone to the roster, or do you think you can win with this roster?
We just picked up Gilder from Creasers the other day. We're hoping that he can come in and fill a goalie role for us so that we don't have Golden Arm coming in at game time unprepared, to try and get some continuity under our belt with the team defense.
Speaking of Golden Arm, how active do you think he's going to be tonight, and what kind of an impact does he have? I mean, if you guys are missing him, it seems like things could be in disarray.
If Golden Arm shows up and he practices and performs like he's used to, he's one of the best goaltenders of all time. There's no doubt about it.
Before the game ended, there was a bunch of conflict on the spec chat. Is there any locker room conflict on Direwolves right now?
No, not that I know of. What was that for? Oh, no, it's kind of a mellow chat right now, We just got our asses kicked, so I think we're going to take our beating, tuck our tail between our legs, and just kind of go on for the evening. We'll get them next game.
Do you believe Creasers played the perfect game against you guys, or...
They were a pretty sound defensive team, wasn't really easy generating any opportunities on them. We got some chances there at the end. I think the third period was our best period as far as generating chances go. We kind of had to pull our defense out and kind of go to a more terrier, spider, Christmas tree lineup to try and get something going.
Would you say the Cash Puck tournament really helped you guys? I know a lot of the players that were on your Cash Puck team ended up joining Direwolves. Do you think that's helped the chemistry?
Early on, you would think so. Yeah, we went 7-1 in the regular season for Cash Puck, but that's a RSHL is a whole different beast as far as defense goes and effort.
If it's any consolation, Interference won the off-season event before season 17 before going 0-6.
So there's still hope for us. Thank you.
And moving forward, do you think this game is going to affect your team, or do you want them to just forget about it?
This is the type of game where you just kind of want to forget about it. I mean, we might look back over it because you guys have the broadcast on demand. So I might look back over it and try and take some notes from it and, see what we can do next game.
We have one question from Lawn Dwarf asking you, who do you hate the most in the zone?
Oh, that's easy. Thrill. HZ.
What is it you hate about him?
Well, this goes back a long way when he tried to take Thunderwolves from me and D. Sidor, trying to sabotage us and mutiny the leadership and try and take it on its own. But we had to kick him out, and he eventually went on to Phasers and had a pretty successful run there. So no hard feelings nowadays. But I just can't stand the guy and his 50-page essays. Thinking that he knows it all and his opinion is the end-all be-all. So, I'm just going to stop there.
Thrill actually had some bad beef thrown at you. He said that he hopes Creasers moves up your weekly power rankings ahead of Direwolves. What do you think about this?
Well, I ranked my team last. If you guys followed the power rankings, so there's not. Yeah, I might move them up one or two spaces, but Creaser's pretty good team. But are they better than Breakaway? Time will tell.
Yeah, certainly Breakaway might be one of those teams that get dropped down on people's boards, but I think people should keep in mind they did play against Interference, so Breakaway is still a great team, and that's a valid point.
After playing against Creases tonight, do you think they have much more in the tank, or was that a full A game?
Could you repeat that?
After you played Creases tonight, do you think they have much more in it, or is that their full A game?
You know what? They showed their A lineup and they played the same six the entire game for 3 periods. So, I mean, it's kind of tough when I'm trying to juggle, 12 people, and they're able to keep the continuity going, throughout all 3 periods. I think it is a big advantage for them. But I still think, back to the power rankings, I think the top 4 teams are pretty secure. And you got Interference, Execution, Kick You Apart, and Baby Seal Killers. And I think that, Creasers could sneak in there, but let's let them climb the ladder first.
Certainly a lot of ladder to be climbed for Creasers, as they're kind of at the lower tier of a lot of people's boards, but it just didn't feel like it tonight. They really came out with a good performance against you guys. It's unfortunate that you guys had to be the recipients of, I think, an angry Creasers team having lost their first game.
No doubt about it.
Do we have any more questions for Mr. Trick, the captain of Direwolves here, following a 0-4 loss against a Creasers team that was bringing their A game?
Yeah, next week Direwolves face Breakaway, followed by Short-Handed, so a busy week for Direwolves. How do you feel you will fare against those 2 teams?
Hopefully better than tonight. Maybe we can start by scoring a goal first?
Sounds like a good start.
All right, thanks a bunch for having me on, guys.
Have a great season, Trick. I hope this game doesn't affect you too much. Direwolves is a good team, and I hope to see them on the top.
Thanks for joining us.
Stay tuned, for next we will have a special member joining the Mumble Squad.